Hey y'all, so I just want to do a flip through of my two new junk journals that I will have up for sale, and one more, but it's not completely done yet. So this one I won't flip through yet, but it's getting there. So I'm going to start with this one. This one's very different from what I usually do. It's a little golden tell-all book. And I just adhered to the spine, the ribbon, so the green would kind of match the green on the cover. And I left the cover the way it was. I didn't cover it like I usually do. So that was fun. It was so different than what I'm used to. So I'm enjoying this one. But I am going to sell it. So it will be for sale. Let me know if you like it. Alright, so I just added some fringe here and some really pretty tape that I had gotten, some washi tape. I left the cover kind of as is, but I guess I could have added pockets. Like I said, this is so different from what I usually do, and really enjoyed it. So I put a little coloring page here, and then it's just some washi tape, and then to reinforce it to make it a little bit more strong, I added some cardstock, blue cardstock to it. Added a little pocket here to the very first page with some more washi tape. So, and a little flouncy ribbon. I like that ribbon. It's very pretty. Okay, so added some more pages. What I did was I took it apart and just added pages to it, so that it was so just different. I really like that. I added a little tag here, but because it's a canvas tag, added some tape, some washi tape, and stamped the number 33 on it. Not for any particular reason, just had the 3 out and stamped it. I did use this book page from this little Goodwill find that I had gotten, Nutshell Library. I'm really sad that I tore this apart without trying to sell it, because it was intact, and intact it's like super expensive on eBay, but live and learn. I'm having fun using the book pages anyway. So it is Nutshell Library by Maurice Sendak, and $1.99 from Goodwill. So I thought, well, $1.99, I'm going to tear it apart. And I just cut up some graph paper, stamped it, and kind of added some color to it. And this is glued. This is just so that somebody can write on it, do whatever they want, just to make it different. Stamped this, and then I added this canvas bird cutout die cut, and I stitched it, and then also added the gold coloring to it, this stuff here, but in the gold, the metallic lustre. I just used the gold one and kind of sponged where I cut out the hearts and on the washi, and then on the canvas itself. And once you add that, it really doesn't come off. It's on there. So I just added a little bit of the rose gold, this one, to the edges of this stamped cardstock, and I put that in a copied piece of paper that looks like a library page. So that was fun. And this just right here. So I have, I have this just because it adds a little pop of color, and it also holds, because this tag didn't really hold too well. Alright, so this I have paper clipped in as well. I made a paper clip with this. It's part of the glued page. So, oh, look at that. See, the glue didn't hold very well. I'm gonna have to go back and re-glue that. Sometimes it's good to revisit that stuff. With the Texas heat, you never know if something is going to bond like it would in a drier place like Arizona. So apparently I did this, oh, I would say probably like 2 months ago, and it just didn't bond like I would love for it to. So glad I'm going back over it. And you can see kind of the boo-boos that happen. But anyway, it's a beautiful little tag. This is just put here to reinforce the paper. So paper clip, altered paper clip, and then I put this in here just so that you'd have a place to write and journal on. And I just paper clip that in there with my altered paper clip. Just gives it a little something different. And this is a sewn in page. So is this, and I put a couple of little die cut tags. These are just different. I love to cut stuff out of paper, magazines, things like that. Alter them so they don't look like what they started out looking like. This is just a little, I don't know what you would call that, a little like button type thing that I got from Hobby Lobby. So and I left this page blank so you can write on these 2 pages, journal on them. So that's really important to some people, especially me. I love to journal on mine. So there's that. Alright, I made a little book page out of one of the books that I got from Goodwill, and I put in a torn piece of ephemera. This is from an old Sears and Roebuck catalog. I just kind of tore it out and put it in there just to kind of give it some flavor, just something different. Alright, and then, okay, so I did have company. My son's girlfriend came by, so I had to stop and chit chat, but I'm back. Anyway, so I think I stopped here. This was a book page. I did show you this. We've got this little paper here that I just love, some, you know, different sizes and cuts. So, yeah, I just put these different papers in here. This is from a ledger that I had gotten at Walmart, so I use this paper quite frequently. I love the way it looks in the books, and it adds really pretty patterns. Then I added this clear pocket, and I just put it on with my clear tape. And if you watched my last junk journaling video, I talked about this crafter's tape. It's really a lot of fun to use, but as you can see, you don't see it on the pockets, so it's really good for putting the pockets in, and it is very sturdy. Then I have this from an envelope, and the washi tape that I had just gotten, so I used it a lot in this junk journal. Really pretty tags that I made with the ledger paper from my die cut Sizzix machine. I made this little card here so that you could journal with it, and you can add more stuff in this clear pocket, but it really adds some dimension to the page, which is the Sears page that I had torn up and used. I use all parts of my junk, so that just adds some more really pretty, I think, dimension. Sorry, y'all. Some really pretty dimension to the page underneath the pocket there. So it makes it look old and kind of used, but you can add more stuff. Like I said, it's just fun to put these clear pockets in and use those to hold really pretty stuff. You can do buttons and lace and different things in there and make it really pretty, make it your own. Alright, so this is the other side of that page and one of the book pages. I used some of that paper, that same paper, as a little spot here to hold things, tuck spot. Some of the Sears catalog book page, just Sizzixed into a tag, and then added that really pretty tool to make it a tag. Then this, I made a little belly band for this page. Added a little butterfly, a little doily, just to kind of play off of that really pretty lace belly band. And then I believe this was a magazine page, just a tag just like that. So you can make tags out of anything, guys, and make it look like your own. This was from a magazine, I'm sure, or a book. I can't even remember. But just added it to the music page and made it look really, really different. And that butterfly kind of holds that in place as well. Alright, so then I've got a little tuck spot with my canvas that I sizzixed, and there's a piece of ribbon behind that. And this is really to be able to journal in and give it a little bit more dimension with that black and white, playing off the green and the blue, and then the greens and the blues in here. Again, that was not intentional, but I really like the way it turned out. I have 50 stamped in just about everything that I did in this book, because I turned 50 this year, so it was just kind of a little theme that I did that I really love. Some more journaling spots there for you. Okay, so this is what I did. I just did a just tie-in to the book. I couldn't remember exactly how I did it, but let me turn it over. So I just punched holes and just tied it all together just like it is. So just 2 holes, pulled the strings through and tied it. That's it. Just simple and easy. I didn't do 3. I just wanted to make this really simple. This is a little book. Again, I stamped the 50 on it, and I added some washi tape. And then I just made a little tiny mini book for whoever wants to journal in it. Just thought this was really cute. I love to do these little mini books inside my journals because it's like a little surprise. So I put that in the little belly band here, lace belly band, so that it can stay, and just gave it some interest there. Alright, all of this is just blank. Now this was from a magazine as well with some washi tape, and I do cut it so that it's not the whole page, it's just some of the interest of color. And then another place to journal. You can add more stuff to that pocket. Another place to journal as well. Some of my stamps. I love the bicycle stuff coming together here with the bicycle washi tape. Then I did add a coloring page, stamped, just a coloring page that I had gotten from the coloring book, came from Goodwill. And then I have that in there with an altered paper clip. This is some of my canvas that I painted. A little punched out heart from my Sizzix and some washi tape. I think it really turned out very pretty. This is the back of it. I just added a piece of paper, just regular scrapbook paper, and altered that as a paper clip. Goes in pretty easy usually, and that way whoever gets it can do a coloring page as well. Another journaling page, the other side of the this I thought was an envelope. It's actually just cardstock that I cut into a diamond, well, cut into a square, and then I put it in there as a diamond pattern, so it just added a little more interest to the book. And I had forgotten about that. So yeah, I'm looking at this with fresh eyes because I haven't really seen it in a month or so. So another part of my ledger page, some really pretty scrapbook paper that I had gotten years ago, probably 15-20 years ago. This was kind of the end pattern, this kind of painted look. I'm not even sure what you would call that, but really pretty. Then I made another pocket with a very simple tag. This paper had been folded, so I kind of like the way that it looks kind of older. I think I may go back and just varnish the edges with some ink, some brown ink. Let me do that now because I think, bear with me while I find my brown ink. It's hiding from me, guys. Here it is. So I'm just going to use some of this pigmented brown ink, and I'm just going to go over the edges. And then you can see how that kind of transforms it into looking a little bit older. Let's see this edge compared to this edge. Just want it to kind of look older. And I think that'll kind of add some dimension to the tag as well. So I like to do it this way because I just like the way that it turns out whenever you just kind of go over the edges. It almost makes it look burnt, old and burnt. So you go up on the paper itself. And I've done this before in my videos. I just think that gives it more of a aged, burnt effect, which I love. Okay, so that was just a pigmented ink in brown, acid-free. Acid-free will actually keep its color and not fade and not cause damage to your pictures. So whenever you look for papers or things like that, acid-free is the way to go. And I only know that because I scrapbooked for so many years. Everything was acid-free back in the day. So there you go. And we could age this as well by spraying it with some honeycomb ink if we wanted to, but I'm going to leave it the way it is for now. It just has some washi tape on it and some just regular paper that I glued, and some of this paper as well that I glued on there, and that just goes in the pocket with some washi tape. And another place to journal. Some more of that really pretty pink paper with the little dots. I'm not sure if you can see the dots on camera, but they're little white dots in the paper, which make it really very interesting. Another place to journal. And the end of the book has a pocket that has netting. This is kind of that tulle with lace around it, and I added this so you could see the pocket because it's almost invisible with the tulle, but I just glued the edge of the tulle down and added this really pretty green mint ribbon to it, and then a couple of things just to journal in to make it more interesting. I think that black and mint green are really pretty together, so that's kind of where I was going with that. And that is the end of the book, but you can see that the laces kind of play off each other too and go together really well. And then the green tie actually looks so good with the cover of the book, and it's very sturdy the way that it's glued on. I just put it, like I said, underneath the tie and I glued it down, so it's pretty sturdy and it looks just like this. And that is all I'm going to do to that book at this time. So that was my little golden book. And now this one is really pretty. It's got a lot of lace and tulle and little hidden charms and things that I've found. This charm says wish on it. This one is just a little like a little mask, little you know, those little masks that you wear to masquerade parties. And a little die cut that is a brooch. And that's out of my canvas that's gone a long, long way. More ribbon, more die cuts. This one is in the shape of a lock. This is a little charm that says number 365, and a little charm that is a little leaf. Another part of my Sizzix die cut and a tag, and that is on the canvas that I painted years ago. So I've gotten a lot of use out of my canvases. So if you paint a bunch of canvas and then tear it up, you can die cut it or make it into pockets, and it turns out really pretty. Very sturdy too. A little bird here, a little owl, and a little heart charm, and these little chains I got for like 99 cents at Walmart, so I love those. There's a little chain that I got at Walmart. I think this one was probably $2 or $3, but I just like the look of the materials and ribbons all together. It just adds something so pretty. And I have all that held with this really thick lock mechanism that I got from Hobby Lobby. So there's a lot going on here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. But you can just tear apart old necklaces or bracelets or chains or whatever and use those as your charms too, because I believe this was like a cheap bracelet charm, something that I got from the resale shop. So it just really adds a lot to this. And the little charms that I have on here, I got them for fairly cheap on Amazon. So you can get charms pretty much anywhere for fairly cheap. You can pull them off your old bracelets too. And then these ribbons and materials, I just tried to add a big mixture. Now the front, I did cover it with this really pretty, let me make sure that I got you in the frame so that you don't miss a thing. I covered this with a piece of material that I got from Walmart for 99 cents. I added some really pretty, this is wallpaper paper that I gotten from Hobby Lobby, and then the washi tape. Then I added this after everything was said and done. I went ahead and added this after I had put some stitching in here just to kind of make it look really pretty. But it's got the stamp and the old newspaper and the music paper and just different papers on here. I added a piece of the washi tape and cardstock in the back, more washi tape, and I put the grommet in there to kind of hold it in place, and it kind of all came together in a really pretty way. So that is the front of that. And then I added the sari ribbon to the grommets, so it's really, really pretty. Now opening it, I've got a pocket, a bunch of really pretty, just different things, die cuts, and different things that just, this was cut from a, maybe a dictionary, thesaurus, little kids thesaurus, and this just out of a book. The paper on here, just really out of books and things, just different things. I wanted some real pretty texture and different things on here to kind of give it a different flavor. And then I put some red just kind of all over the place so that it really went, I like the colors to kind of play off of each other. I like the colors to play off of each other on the pages. So I've got the red buttons and the red washi tape. This is just a bag that I had put in here with different book page that I had gotten, dictionary page. There's a piece of ephemera, and then some red string that really just looks like it kind of plays off of everything that's on here. And I'm just going to tuck that back into the bag. There you go. And think the string didn't really adhere. Like I said, this Texas heat, you just never know. I had a really pretty flower die cut on here, different ones. Now this one, I put some alcohol ink on all of this, and there's a stamp there. You can barely see it, but with all of this going on, it adds a lot of color and texture, and just really very pleasing to the eye. There's a little wing that I stamped on here, and then it kind of went off the page, so I went ahead and marked around it so you could see, and then colored in the wing so you could see it more. But it just really kind of added a real pop of color. Is kind of what I needed there. And then with the red, I just love this page so much. Then you have this, which is very interesting. This tag is just the same thing. A lot of different things going on. This was a snap off of a shirt that my father had years ago, and I punched it through and then taped it down so that the sticky part wouldn't poke anybody. So you can't really see it, but it's there. It belonged to my dad many years ago, and I just love this tag. There's a lot of things going on, like the lace and the stamps and the papers and the different things, so that it just really is, it's fun to touch. And you've got the sari ribbon on top that's held together by a little rubber band, clear rubber band. You've got your lace and different textures on here. So that's a lot of fun to do, just texturing up and Mod Podging everything together so that it has just a really thick texture. Then I added a place to journal so that it go with it, and then the pocket is just a piece of material that I had gotten from Walmart. This is another one of those fun pockets that I did, but I found that this material would not stay on the page, so I tried the washi tape and glued it, and as you can see, it was really just having a difficult time staying down. So I added this ribbon here, and that actually caused it to stay down, and it's just a very interesting pocket. And then I have this really interesting tag. Everything in here has kind of a feel to it. You know, you can tactile. I love that. The buttons and the different materials and papers. So, and then this little card here that I gotten in some ephemera. So it's a remembrance card from Wenzel Polzer, who died August 3rd, 1967. Rest in peace. But I just thought that was really pretty to go with it. And it adds something. So this is an altered paper clip, but it's also a playing card that I added just this stamped piece of paper with a key on it. And there you go. A little piece of paper that I glued to the card to kind of hold the paper clip in place. And then a piece of stamped torn paper, book paper. So just a lot of things going on here. But it takes you a little while to kind of go through and figure out what all is on here. So it's a lot of fun to look at. Everybody that goes through it is like, wow, wow, wow. I love the green, with the green butterfly paper that I added as kind of a pocket. Then I added this really stitched paper, and then I stitched coffee dyed paper to it as well. Then I Mod Podged it. But I stitched it together, and then I left this thread hanging because I just thought it added to it. And I found the butterfly stamps, moth stamps, and added that to it as well, along with this button that plays in with this button. So that's really fun, and underneath it is a lot of texture. So there's a lot of things going on here that you can look at and feel. Again, this is a very tactile, fun book to look at and touch. And this is just a torn piece of a calendar that I liked, that's from a Barbie calendar that my daughter had gotten me. I added some washi tape just for some fun. Here's a journal page. We'll skip through that really fast. A tag I made, and it's just a piece of train paper reinforced with the reinforcer around this hole, and then tagged with some actually lace with gold washi tape glued around it, so that it made it just different. Isn't that fun? And then another journal spot that is just, it's just paper that you fold out, so it's pretty long, and that way you have something to write on. And you can write on this as well. The tag with a lot of different papers Mod Podged on it. And a book page. Belly band out of some paper with a really pretty, this is just a book page, but I really like the pink in there. It kind of goes with the browns. So this is just the book paper. This book was stitched with the 3-hole stitch technique. So that is really fun, and I do have a, it's easy to do with these signatures, but I have a video, if you'll go back in my videos and watch how to make a junk journal easy, this was included in there. We stitched the signatures in. So just some paper. This is the other side of that Barbie calendar. So I thought that was really pretty to add just a pop of color. This is just some place that you can write on, and it's just, there's really no rhyme or reason for this other than you can journal on these pages, and it's just fun. I added a little tag here, and it doesn't hold anything because it's glued down, but washi tape everywhere, just really just so you can write in it. That's really okay. So my camera keeps dying, so we're just going to keep trudging on because I'm going to keep using this stupid camera. Okay, envelope that I kind of put a little spin on by using my fancy scissors with the edge, so that whenever you close it, the edge is just really pretty. Added the button and some washi tape and just some papers with that same cut from these fancy scissors, or fancy edge. I'm not sure what you would call those other than fancy edge scissors, scalloped edge scissors maybe. And this doesn't really close because the papers are big. I guess you could do it that way, but I like how it's set out, and this has stayed open. So that's just glued onto that really pretty wood looking paper, and that's kind of tactile as well. Little altered paper clip with some it has a die cut that I did buy that was already done, and then I added some string to it and book pages, different papers, different things, just to kind of give it that look of a lot of busy things going on as well. So I like that. And there's a little tag with that string going on as well, and that's cheesecloth, so the tag is already pre-made. I didn't do a whole lot to it because you can journal on the back of that as well, and then journal on all of this. This is a piece of that wallpaper. You can journal on both sides of it, but it's the pre-cut wallpaper, I believe, by Tim Holtz, but don't quote me on that. And that is from Hobby Lobby, but you can get a whole pack of this wallpaper cut, and I just really like it. Alright, ticket die cuts that I did on my Sizzix, and this is made into a belly band and a little butterfly because, you know, I like butterflies. Why not? Alright guys, this is one of my favorite book pages, and I put it in here. I kind of altered it, put it in here, and I put it on top of this orange envelope, which is really a lot of fun, and this playing card, which is really cool. This is a Jack playing card. You can get different playing cards off of Amazon, and this just is fun. This is an altered piece of book page with the purple acid ink. The word beautiful was from the thesaurus that I got, and then just some paper with blue alcohol ink on it. So I glued all that on there and made this a really interesting page. I believe that this came in the mail off of some junk mail, and I took it. So the orange envelope was a lot of fun, and I'm not even sure where I got it, but hey, whatever you can steal out of your junk mail and reuse, you're recycling. A lot of fun. This is a really pretty book page that I altered and made it so that it would go into this pocket, which is a ledger page. I folded it so that it would be kind of fun, and then I used my green alcohol ink and my yellow to kind of make it that sparkly pretty color, and then I put 2 flowers that I got from Goodwill on here. I altered those as well and glued them down, and it just made the whole thing kind of play. The blue flower, the blue elephant. Y'all, I just love this elephant so much. I can't even tell you. I've gotten more compliments on this elephant from this book page, and I just have a lot of fun with it. I stamped this, another place to journal. Really pretty paper. This paper was already like this, and it's kind of that cloth paper, recycled maybe. Love that. You can get that at Hobby Lobby. This is a piece of a gift bag that I've used the stuffing out of. I put it in almost every journal now because I have so much of it. A piece of washi tape. My camera died again, guys. I'm just over it. This is a book page that I put a piece of gold washi tape on because it just really added a pop of color. This tag was cut out by my Sizzix, and then I added a book paper, piece of flower color to it, and then this was part of a doily, the inside of a doily that I cut out and then added the blue alcohol ink to. Then lace trim, and altered this with a bunch of stamp and alcohol ink, just to kind of get it, you know, I just kept adding things until I got it the way I wanted it, and I didn't know if I was going to get rid of it or not, but it ended up being a really pretty violet red. I used all kinds of stuff to little scrap pieces. I don't know if you can see that in there, but there's little scrap pieces of paper that have been cut out, and I just kept adding stuff until it became this tag right here. So one of my interesting tags. And then I have this page here. This is another playing card that I got that I added some stamp ink to, or not ink, but some of that gold lustry to it. A piece of a cut book page and a piece of a matchbox that I cut out and added the gold lustry to as well, the wax, the gold wax. So it ended up looking like that. And on the back I put a white piece of paper so that you can journal on it. I put it in a white envelope. I added the gold wax to that as well. I stamped this with one of my pretty ladies, and this was stitched earlier. The button, piece of ephemera, piece of a ticket, and it all kind of came together a little bit at a time, but made this page, and I love it. Then I have my altered paper clip, which is a ticket with a button and a piece of string. This is the back of it, and it's hooked to a playing card pocket. So this is a pocket, and that is on a book page. This is really pretty. It's just book page, and then this is a piece of blueberry dyed paper that my son's girlfriend and I made one day. I stamped it, added something I didn't like, so I put this really pretty sticker over it that says, P.S. I hope you feel beautiful today. And there's just some stamping and things going on. Real pretty lady stamp, shine bright, and a piece of book page. And I had sewn in a piece of cloth in here, a piece of ribbon, just to kind of give it something different. So that is definitely, and it feels very old. I love that. This is a piece of that book page. Then I've got the man stamped over here. So I've got the lady stamped over here, and then the man stamped over here, and the word beautiful. And I cut that out of the thesaurus, and I just kept it the way it was, just stuck it in there. This is a little belly band from $200 with a little stamp and a piece of ephemera from not sure where. But all of that kind of gives it a masculine feel. So you've got the feminine side and the masculine side. And I just like the way that turned out. This, another playing card. There are two of them glued together. They're very thin. So they're pocket. And again, it's Texas. I'll have to go back and reinforce that. But it is a pocket. And this has a girl in it that there's ticket and just a piece of really pretty pink paper that you can journal on as well. So a lot of hidden things in there. And I just like the way that that looks. So that, I will go back and reinforce it, but really pretty plastic playing cards that you can see through, and it gives it a different dimension. You can kind of see the eyeball peeking out of the playing card. That really pretty recycled paper. Then I've got a tag with a really pretty butterfly, and I just love the way that these butterflies are made. You can get them from Alright, here we are again. Camera died again. Butterfly on the tag with a piece of that bag that I was telling you I've cut up, and you can journal on the back, obviously. I put a piece of the Vogue, let me make sure y'all are in shot since my camera is being naughty, piece of Vogue pattern. And then this is a piece of a fan that I had gotten from Goodwill, and it had tons of junk just glued on it. So I've been cutting pieces of it out, you know, with this ribbon and everything. I cut it apart. I got this thing for like $1, and I've used the stuffing out of it. So I made it into a pocket here, and that is holding that really pretty butterfly tag. And with the pearls, it just makes it totally different, and it kind of pokes out, so it's like a little tab. I like that. And then I put the Vogue shorts over on here just because it came with that. So that is really neat. I love this tag because it's glued on there, so there's not really anything you can do with this page, but it's really pretty. You can journal around it. But this was a piece of the paint chip that I had gotten from, you know, the books that you get from the paint places like Lowe's or places like that, and this came out of one of those books. I put a piece of tag on it that I had made from a Sizzix, and a piece of knotted ribbon, a key, and this lace. So just really added a lot of dimension to it, and I thought that was really pretty. I'm going to move y'all up a little bit, and let's keep praying my camera will not die on me right away. But if it does, we'll keep going. A little altered paper clip with a really pretty button off of a dress that I had years and years ago. A key and a piece of material, and some sari ribbon that I've glued all together and made into this really pretty altered paper clip. The back of it is just a piece of cardstock. So that's holding this envelope onto here. And the envelope, I stamped it and made it and alcohol inked it so that it, oh no I didn't, I stamped it. I just used my stamper and tamped it down and made it look like that, and I just thought that was so pretty. This is, I believe this is a pocket. Yes ma'am. This is a pocket, so you can put a lot of stuff in there. Let me add this paper clip back so that we don't lose it. Okay, so you've got a pocket here, a big giant pocket where you can put a lot of stuff, and then a paper you can write on. So that's really nice. And then put stuff in this envelope as well. Alright, this is some really beautiful, beautiful blue paper. I just love roses and flowers and pretty stuff. So, alright, so this is a pocket that I just did that has the fussy die cut. Okay guys, okay, so this was a Sizzix die cut, and this heart is a booger to get out of my little die cut press thingy. So anyway, it's there. It's kind of broken in places, but I still think it was pretty, so I wanted to use it. A piece of lace down there, a piece of book page, that leaf is actually off of that fan that I showed you with a lace on it. I just glued that down. Wooden button and some really pretty embroidery floss, and a book page that had some really pretty white lace clothes on it with the thesaurus meaning of evolve on there. Okay, this is a piece of stamped tag. This tag came pre-cut, and I stamped it and added a real pretty stamp on there, and a flower die cut and lace to the top. Then I put the ink on the edges like I did a minute ago with that other one, and just turned out, I need to quit saying I'm just waiting for my camera to die, y'all. I'm just so over it. Okay. Yes, I just added the brown to the edges of it, and it made the tag come to life. So I didn't really like this tag until I started altering it. So there you go. Now it just kind of goes with the whole thing. This is another pocket, and this is, what is that from? This is from a book about flowers that I use the fancy edge scissors. This little piece right here is off of that fan as well. I just like the little pearls, the little cheapy pearls. The butterfly, which she's going down to the flower, but that was not on purpose. I glued it upside down. And you know, every single mistake that you make in your junk journal can actually be a, not just a learning experience to slow down, but also you figure out, you know, if you want to fix it or alter it. But this butterfly actually does look like it's going to the flower, so I just didn't touch it. I didn't alter it. I could have pulled it up and done other things with it, but I did not. I left it. So yeah, junk journaling can be a lesson in slowing down though, which this chica needs to do sometimes. Piece of lace on this really pretty wallpaper, and this die cut is one of those really pretty Sizzix die cuts that is again a booger to get all of the stuff out of it, and it messed up on this side. It's about that long, and this side was messed up, so I covered it with the pretty picture and the bird, so you can't tell, and it just looks like everything was on purpose and as it should be. And this was just a little piece of ephemera that I got in a Tim Holtz pack. So I believe all of that really came together very pretty. This brown, I forgot to say, was just brown stamp that I tamped on with the sponge stamper, dauber. And a piece of lace right in the middle, because I don't really like for my spines to show, or my blank spots to show. So I like to have something in there just to kind of give it that pop of being full, that illusion. Really pretty lady paper. I shouldn't call it lady paper. That kind of sounds like a feminine product, but it's not. The lady on the paper, how's that? But I like these really pretty papers you can get at Hobby Lobby, and whenever you're really looking, you can find bargains. Well, I can't even talk. You can find bargains on this paper. So this is stamped paper, and I believe that was, I don't know if that was done by me or it came like that. So we're just going to say it came like that, maybe. Envelope, again, using the junk from my junk mail. So this is a true junk journal. These flowers came off of that fan, and I just put them in there. This was piece of the oh goodness, it was just the same as the other one. It was the paint chip book, and I cut it out with those fancy edge scissors. And I like these windows and these envelopes. The envelope itself is really pretty, turned inside out. But then you add this was another paint chip piece. As you can see, little swatch pieces. If you look, they have the really pretty pictures on it. And these pictures, I mean, they're fun. You just cut them out and they're decorative. And if you don't look at the back, then you don't know that that came from a paint swatch. So another tag with a die cut on it from a book page, and piece of garbage, and another piece of garbage that was cut off of other things that I did not throw away because I was using everything. A piece of a doily, ticket, music page. I guess that's just paper, and then I stamped over the whole thing, and a piece of blue washi tape, because why not? Blue washi tape is fun. Alright, and then I stuck the flowers in there just because it kind of went with the whole theme of everything going on this page. Just love that. These flowers peek through that window, and it makes it really interesting. You've got the flower here that was already made, and I added some string to these little tags, and I stamped these tags. They were just plain tags that I got. I glued this one down, but I left this one free. I covered the ends with the flower. Then I added this really pretty tag that came pre-done. I think I added a little bit of stamp to it, but the tag itself was already pre-cut. So I just added this sari ribbon just to give it a little bit of flavor. This the gray right here is a paint chip, and this is washi tape. This is that stamped, and I don't know if you can tell because looking at it, it's kind of hard to tell, but this is a pair of shoes. So it kind of looks like somebody doing a peace sign, but it's a pair of shoes. Sizzix cut butterfly out of book paper. Sari ribbon over lace, just to kind of, I'm sure it was because I was having a glue down problem, or I wanted to do something fancy, and I believe I remember this didn't really work out too well, so then I had to figure out how to make it work. Another thing, another lesson in junk journaling is you figure out how to make things work to your advantage, and then they end up being really fun, pretty things. So this is just, I think this is just book paper, or card. It feels like cardstock, so I'm gonna go with it. It's some kind of cardstock. See, I don't even remember. How sad is that? This is just a sticker that came out of one of my Happy Planner sticker books. And I just love the way it looks, so that all came together really pretty, and it kind of, the lady is looking over all of this stuff, so I really like the way that turned out. Okay, this is my Alice in Wonderland napkins that I bought from Amazon for about $5. Love it. Altered playing card. I took a baby wipe. I wiped it down. I added some brown ink to it. And what the baby wipe does is it takes that shiny off of the card. So then it starts looking old and worn. And then I added some little die cuts and stamps and little scrap pieces of paper to the card itself. Little pieces of string. I took some scissors and I really went to town on there and scratched it up. And then I added some blue ink to the edges. And it ended up looking kind of like an old playing card, which is a lot of fun. Then this is a coffee dyed piece of paper that I just added just for fun. And that is in my Alice in Wonderland napkin. This is an old book page piece of paper. Little Tim Holtz girl. A wooden button. A piece of ephemera. Music page. This is upside down, of course. So it's backwards. That's okay. It's backwards, but for the fun of it, there you go. My husband's left-handed, so that really works for him, doesn't it? Alright, so this is another altered paper clip. I made it huge because why not? I just put a little slit in the paper and threaded the paper clip through it, and then hit it with the flower and the sari ribbon. I added some tickets from my painted canvas, and so you can't really even tell that that's a paper clip, but you can put a lot of stuff underneath it and hold it in place. Another place to journal. Some more pretty paper. Another piece of that bag, that gift bag, and some sari ribbon and washi tape. This bag is kind of like the bags that you get the give gifts on Christmas for, like the bath bombs and things like that. So save all those little cloth bags and cut them up and use them. Just saying, you can use them. Alright, so this is just another altered tag. Buttons and paper and stamps and lace, and the back is plain. This, I made it into a envelope, and it's got some hidden paper in here, coffee dyed paper. So this is just a folded piece of cardstock that I just glued both sides down. I added this book page in there, on top, I'm sorry. I added the book page on top, folded it over, and now it looks like an envelope with this tag in it and a little tuck spot. So that's really fun. A lot of my stuff I try to hide, make it fun, little things to do. Book pages. This was a book page that I dyed with, I can't remember what we dyed that with, but I think it was the blueberry maybe, but it didn't turn as blue as some of the other stuff. It didn't soak up as well. Maybe it was the coffee and the blueberry together and it ended up turning green. So I really like that color. Piece of vellum, which is really pretty. I love vellum. Another die cut tag, Sizzix tag, of my bird cage, and then I found a bird for the sticker just to go on there, and then I put the little sticker at the top. Some more pretty paper, book paper, an envelope, which, you know, you can use this. It is open. I didn't glue it shut or anything. More book paper. This is an envelope you can use as well. And it's got the little key on it that I made with my Sizzix, and just some really pretty paper on top of it. And I did cut the edges with a zigzaggy pair of scissors just to kind of give it some different look, and I glued that down to the vellum. So got vellum on this side. You've got some more of that blueberry coffee stained paper, and that's what it looks like. So pretty. And then we have this really pretty lady here. Just a tag out of cardstock. I colored it, and then, well, let's see, what did I do to it? First I inked it up, and then I used the gold wax on it. I added tickets and buttons and little pieces of fabric, and then I Mod Podged over that the papers, and, well, I added the button after. Then I added the gold wax and the blue flower, and then just some little fun ephemera just to make it look different. And I also cut this little, this is actually an index card, but I cut this little spot here so that you can tell it's a pocket. You can tuck some things in. And this little girl here is just, it came like that, but I added the red stamping and some ephemera, more ephemera die cut flower, and this wallpaper wallpaper stuff I got from Hobby Lobby. It's the wallpaper paper. You can hear it. It kind of has that wallpapery feel, and that's just glued onto a piece of cardstock. And the last page. The last page. My husband just walked in, so. Okay, the last page is just a bunch of ephemera. This is a little pocket with some little fun tags on it, and I tucked some string in there so that it has some look to it, some depth, some fun look to it. Whoever gets it can take the strings out, but I really like the way the string turned out and looked. And these, I mean, they're just pieces of cut paper, so nothing fancy. I added the ticket and paper, and then this piece of cloth ribbon that you can get pretty much anywhere. I added that there, and some cheesecloth over that. I put a piece over the binding with a ticket, some stamps and cut out hearts. I stamped it. I added this little lady here, which she was one of my very first things that I did on here, and I loved her, but then I couldn't figure out what else to do with everything. So there's some stamping going on, and some book pages, and some string. Then I did some stamps on here. There's those shoes again, the key, and then a little sign, and more book pages. So, oh, and some of that bag, and some scrap paper. So this one was actually a lesson in slowing down and just making it tactile and fun. And then that ended up being one of my favorite books because it is so different and unique, and there's so much going on. The ties are just little sari ribbons that are tied into the grommets. That is it. Okay guys, so that is those two books, the flip throughs. I hope that you liked them, and I hope that you will give it a thumbs up, and be sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's be friends. See you in the next one.